I have to tell you about Skin Glow by Marissa because honestly, I am obsessed with her and her business. She is a local esthetician and is all about clean, intentional treatments that bring out your natural glow, like your skin being taken care of in the way that it actually deserves. See a full list of treatments and book your appointment at Skin Glow by Marissa using the link in the show notes. Mother's Day is one of those holidays that shows up on the calendar with this big, bright expectation that everybody is celebrating the same thing. And I think for a lot of us, that is just not the reality. I've been wanting to have this conversation for quite a while, and not because it's trendy or timely, but because someone in my life asked me if she could come on this podcast and be honest about something that doesn't get talked about enough. And I immediately said yes before she could even finish her sentence. My guest today is my friend Haleigh. She is a wife, a mom to an adorable 2-year-old girl, and a business owner. She is someone who walked through 5 miscarriages, 2 ectopic pregnancies, and the kind of grief that most people are experiencing completely alone in the quiet while the rest of the world just seems to keep moving. And I want to be honest with you, this one got me. There were moments in this conversation where I had to sit with things that hit a little close to home, a little closer than I expected. But that's exactly why we're here. Because if this episode finds even one woman who feels seen in it, then Haleigh being brave enough to show up and tell her story was absolutely everything. So if you are someone who is in the middle of this journey right now, or you've been there, or you love someone who has, this one is absolutely for you. Pull up a chair because you are not alone. Haleigh, welcome to the Nourisher podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm super nervous, but I'm excited.
You're going to do great. I've already enjoyed getting to know you over the last, I guess we've known each other for like a year now.
Yeah, pretty much.
I just want to start by saying thank you so much for being willing to talk about your journey. This is a really important conversation that we're about to have, especially heading into Mother's Day. And so I just appreciate you for being willing to share your journey through it all.
Thank you. This journey has been hard for me, but I think it's something that needs to be spoken about, and I'm here to tell my side of the story and kind of give you guys what we've gone through.
Okay, well, before we start on all of that, please tell us who Haleigh is outside of this story that we're about to hear.
I'm a wife, and I am a mommy of a beautiful little girl. I also love family time. I'm a huge family person, and we do occasionally have friends come into town that we hang out with, our closest friends, and we get together and we hang out with them while we can. But I am a business owner as well, and we just stay busy with that. So.
Yeah, y'all are really busy, and your family looks like a great time.
We are. You need to come hang out.
I know. I'm just like, next time y'all have family day, just let me come over.
Yes. And you need to come hang out. They are awesome. We love to just enjoy and have a good time. And we love each other's company, like my whole family. So we're super, super close. We try to get together at least 3 times a week and have breakfasts every Sunday. So we love each other.
It's such a blessing to be able to have all your family close to where you can get together that often.
It is. It's amazing. But the only thing that stinks is my husband's family lives in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So my in-laws are in Florida, and they're far, and I really, really wish that they lived close. But we get together with them when we can, and they come and visit when they can. So
yeah, for sure. So you mentioned a little bit about wanting to share your side of the story and that it needs to be talked about more and really brought to light. But what made you say yes to coming on and talking about this?
I think me being ready to share my side of the story was, or me and my husband's journey, because this is our journey as well, but was just the person that you are. I feel like I could be myself around you and share the flaws and all the negative things and all the positive things around you without any judgment, or just being able to be myself and show my side.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. That makes me feel good. I never want people to meet me and be like, I cannot spill all my dirty secrets.
You know, a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important too that, so I haven't spoken about it a lot, but I've been through similar experience as you. And it is hard to open up, and it really is hard to find those people where it's like they either get it or they're going to try to tell me it's all in God's plan, like this was meant to be. And, you know, to an extent, I believe that. But it's just,
correct.
You know, when you are not walking that same path that somebody else is, it just feels like they don't have the words to say and there's no way to comfort you. So.
And that's okay. If you don't know what to say, then don't say it. But then, like, if there is things that you want to say, you should probably keep to yourself. But yeah, so I felt really comfortable coming in here and talking about it. And I think it was my time. And now that we're here, I'm very confident in this.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so how long have you and your husband been married?
We've been married 7 years.
7 years, okay.
Going on 8 this year.
How long before you guys were married, like, did you know immediately that you wanted to have kids? You're a big family person, so I assumed that was kind of always on your mind.
So I've always dreamed about, like, being a mom. That's just who I am as a person. I've grown up, you know, raising some of my nieces, not raising, but, like, being there for some of my nieces. And I just felt like that was my calling, was to be a mom. And that's what I wanted to do for a very, very long time.
Yeah. Okay. So y'all got married and immediately you guys wanted to start having kids, or what was that timeline?
So it was like we got married in 2019 and we did like a year where we're like, we're going to hang out. We're going to hang out with our friends. We're going to travel. We're going to do all the things, you know, that newlyweds do.
Sure.
And then that year kind of went by really fast and I was like, done. I was like, okay, I'm done with this. Like, you know, like, let's start trying. And that's the journey that we're fixing to get into now, is, you know, the trying process and all of the things.
Yeah. So when did you first realize that conceiving was not going to be as easy as you thought? Because here's the thing. I do think that when we're young, everybody tries to scare us. They're like, don't have sex or you'll get pregnant and die. Isn't that a thing? But, you know, we grow up as teenagers and everybody's just like, don't get pregnant when you're a teenager. So I feel like when we're in our young 20s and we get married, we're just like, oh, as soon as I get off birth control, it's like, it's going to happen for me.
Yeah.
So what was that like for you? When did you realize that it was going to take a little bit more effort?
So I wasn't on birth control like the entire time John and I were dating or leading up to our marriage. So I wasn't on birth control. So that was another thing that kind of caught me off guard, because they do say, oh, if you're on birth control, you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
Or getting off of it, you have to get on a regular cycle and not let the pill or the shot or whatever it is nowadays affect, you know, your hormones. So I was like, oh, I'm in the clear. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, and that was not the case. So end of 2021 is whenever I really started questioning, you know, this isn't that easy.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as people think. Everybody struggles, but nobody talks about it. And that's whenever I thought, the end of 2021, I was like, this is going to be a struggle for us.
Yeah. And you hadn't gotten pregnant at all at that point?
So I did.
Okay.
So I've had 5 miscarriages and 2 ectopics.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long did it take you guys trying before you got pregnant the first time?
It didn't take us trying long. We actually started trying, I would say, end of 2020.
Okay.
And that's when everything started kind of happening with my infertility issues, was in 2021.
Gotcha. Okay. And what did trying, like, that's so nosy of me to ask, but what did trying, quote unquote, look like for you guys?
So I was very anal about like tracking my ovulation, getting the app, peeing on pee sticks to track my ovulation, putting it into the journal. I was into all of that because I was just so ready and so excited. And anytime I would get like ovulation, you're blue, like, John, get home, let's go.
Yeah.
Like it was like that hardcore.
Yeah.
And I just kind of had to take a step back a little bit because trying is hard. It's overwhelming. It's difficult. It's hard. It's mentally draining for you and for your partner. It's not just for you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost like you're just, especially in the early days of your marriage, I would even say like in the first, couple years of your marriage. I mean, you really think that you're just going to be in this honeymoon phase. Like you're going to want to be intimate all the time. But then when you start having to, like you just stress about it. Like it stresses you out. It stresses your partner out a little bit. And then I know for me personally, it's like every little thing, like we were talking about last week at lunch, like PMS symptoms are the same as pregnancy symptoms.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there has to be a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. It's hard. I'm like starving one week. Like there's times even now or like back when we were trying still, I'm like, am I pregnant or am I about to start my period or am I ovulating? Like, what the hell is going on?
Yes.
So it's all different.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same, but it's different.
Yeah. And then I think when you have that hope, right, one little thing will happen with your body and it's like immediately, because when you're in that space, you're like, I hope it means I'm pregnant. But
my boobs are getting big. Are they pregnant?
You're like, ooh, I like this, but am I pregnant?
Or is it my period?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You don't know. You don't know.
And you just kind of get your hopes up. And then you take a pregnancy test and it's like not pregnant. So, so walk me through like the times that was happening for you. Like you guys were trying and you weren't getting a positive pregnancy test. Like what were you feeling?
It was kind of different. So each one of my pregnancies were different. My boobs were achy. I was sick. I was this. I was that. But at the end of the day, I wasn't pregnant. And it was just my period or whatever it is. So that really messed with my head because I felt like each time I was pregnant, because I was getting a different symptom.
Yeah.
And each symptom was different every time. So I was like, okay, well, this time I am pregnant. Like, I'm getting headaches. I'm getting back pain. My legs are throbbing or whatever it is. And it's like, nope, your period's here. So
you're like, I hate you.
Yeah.
I hate you. It is. And it's just, I think every time, I tried to explain this to my husband once, and it's hard for them to comprehend in general, right? Because it's not their body. And number one, even if we're not trying to get pregnant, our freaking emotions and hormones are just all over the place.
Girl, you have no idea.
Like they're so bad. And so, when I would get a negative pregnancy test, knowing that I want to have children, it's just like, it's soul crushing in a way where it's just like, even when we're not trying, we're just going to see what happens. But I still take a negative test and I'm just like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And I start crying, or my friends, literally all of my friends have been pregnant and I love all of them so much. If they hear this, I love all of them so much. And I love that they share that with me, but it is hard,
It is. It's very difficult. When John and I were in the early stages of trying to have a baby before Gabriella, I would have friends getting pregnant. I would have cousins getting pregnant, and it was frustrating, but also a blessing that they were getting that opportunity, and not having to go through what I went through.
Yeah.
So
my favorite conversation is like, have you tried this? Have you tried this? And I'm like, bitch, I'm trying everything, okay?
I lay with my legs up.
My grandma told me that once. I was like, you do realize that's like what is that called? Like a wives' tale. Yeah,
old wives' tale. Yep, there you go.
For sure. We'll get into kind of the harder parts too. So obviously, if you have to take a break, like I might cry with you because it's been a week. Okay. So you shared with me that you have experienced several losses, and I don't want to just gloss over that. I really want to know like what that was like for you. And I know you've said you experienced miscarriage, but also ectopic, because those are two totally different things. And so those experiences could be different. So what were those losses like for you?
So each loss was a little different. Loss in this experiment, it's hard. It's hard to put in words. It's hard to kind of navigate and really tell people what you're feeling because you don't know at the end of the day. I had several, and till this day, I still don't know. It's hard. It's draining. It's mentally draining, physically draining on your body. And sometimes it's even drainage on your marriage. And people don't realize that if you don't go through it, because it's one of those things that you guys are coping with. And if you're just a family person, the only people that really are there for you are your family and a couple of best friends that you want to tell what you're going through. But majority of the time, John and I we went through a lot alone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to give a lot of grace to him because he was there for me. And that just shows like everything to me. But it's hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
Well, and neither one of you have been through that before.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like...
And we didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
You think you get pregnant and you're happy for 9 months and then you have a baby and everything is well. And that's not the case for most people.
Yeah. Speaking from my own experience, and I experienced both of my miscarriages in my previous marriage. So it took me 2.5 years to get pregnant after I came off the pill. So I'm actually really, because I haven't talked about this a lot out loud with a lot of people. So you saying that you were never on it, like, actually makes me feel a little bit better, because I've just been beating myself up saying, oh my gosh, it's probably because I've been on the pill for 15 plus years.
Yeah. So don't get me wrong, I was on birth control. I was on the one in your arm. I don't even know what it's called. I was on that one for about 5 years. And then whenever it was time to come out, I took it out and then I put it back in. But that was like a couple months. That was 2014. Put it back in and my cycle was just all whacked.
Yeah.
So I went back to the doctor and I actually took it out. So I've been off birth control since about 2014.
Okay.
Yeah. But you have people that are on birth control and they come off and they're like, hey, I'm pregnant.
Exactly.
Like,
I know. That's true. Okay. Fair.
You're like, what?
Yeah.
But I do, like, I've done so much research and it's so bad for your body.
Yeah.
It's just so bad for your body.
It really is. It's crazy. Yeah. So I came off birth control when I got married. I was 26 and I had been on birth control since I was like 15, just because of my cycles. And that's, the solution. Like, that's just the solution. So came off of it when I was 27. It took me 2.5 years to get pregnant for the first time. I got pregnant and it was like, okay, happy. It's like you can't wait to tell everybody you're pregnant because, oh my God, you've been trying for 2.5 years.
Correct.
So I tell my husband at the time, I tell my mom, I call my best friend, like, it's like a whole thing.
And then you set up everything so cute for your husband.
Oh, yeah.
Did you do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Did the gift.
Yeah.
Recorded it. Yeah. Recorded telling my grandparents and his parents. Like, it was a whole thing because you just don't expect anything to go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you tell the doctor that you're pregnant, and then you got to wait for what?
8 weeks?
Well,
15 weeks?
You have to be till you're 8 weeks to go in. So you find out you're pregnant and you're 4 or 5 weeks along. Mm-hmm. So you have a whole other month before you get to go see the doctor. And so this is my first pregnancy. And then I go to the doctor for the first time and they're just like, you could see where the baby was, but then you couldn't see the heart. Like, there was no heartbeat.
Correct.
There was no blood flow, like,
correct,
whatever. And so I was already freaking out. Like, going into the doctor's office, I was like,
you don't know what to expect.
I'm like, am I really pregnant? Yeah. There's no way.
And they stick that thing up you and you're like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
And then it's like, there's nothing there. And you're like, what do you mean?
Yes. Yes. I think it was the emotional roller coaster of, I know I'm pregnant. And then the day of my appointment, I'm like psyching myself up. I'm like, what if I go and they're like, you're not pregnant. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, but I am. Yeah. Maybe. So then we go, we do the thing. They're like, there's your baby. So then my emotions go like skyrocket in the positive direction. And then they're like, okay, but there's no blood flow. Like, there's nothing going on there. Mm-hmm. And so then it's like,
correct.
So I just think that each experience, like you've said, is so different.
It's very different. And I can say that because I've had, like you said, I've had miscarriages, and then I've had ectopic pregnancies, and those are two different things.
Yeah.
So miscarriage, baby's in the right place, baby's in the uterus, everything goes good, everything's looking good. There's just no heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Or the baby, there's no blood flow to the baby. Ectopic is you get pregnant, but your baby is not in your uterus.
And it could like kill you.
It could kill you. Yeah. So that's another scary thing is it's like detrimental to you and to the baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the baby's not in there, but to the mom, you know, and what is your husband feeling or what is your family thinking or what are you thinking? Matter of fact. So
Yeah.
that's difficult.
Yeah.
And they're both two totally different things.
For sure. Is there a specific moment or maybe like a particular loss that has changed something in you? Maybe not like if you want to talk about one that's completely broken you, like I totally get that too. But if there's one that kind of shifted you in a sense.
Yes. The end of 2022, 2023, I can't remember. My husband and I got pregnant again. This was right before Gabriella. We went into the doctors. I wasn't bleeding. I was happy. And now with my doctors, I have to go anytime I get a positive pregnancy test, I have to go in immediately for blood work.
Yeah.
So they check my HCG levels. My HCG levels are good. They have me go in for an ultrasound at 5 weeks just to make sure baby's in the uterus.
Mm-hmm.
And if everything is going good there, then we'll continue with the blood work and the ultrasounds every 2 weeks. That's just kind of how I do it now because of my experience. And my last one was an ectopic pregnancy. And that one broke me because I was so confident and I had made it so far that I was like, okay, this is good. You know, we're on the right track. And when you're having an ectopic pregnancy, your HCG levels will still rise.
Right.
So you're like, everything is good. So I go in for my 5-week ultrasound and no baby. And that killed me because my HCG levels were so high that I was like, oh, this is great. You know, I was having to go for blood work every other day and just to go in, get it checked out, and then they would give me the results stat.
Yeah.
And then whenever I went in at 5 weeks, there was no baby in the uterus, and that really shifted me. And I was like, I think I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I'm done trying. I felt loss of hope, and I wasn't in the right mindset to keep trying for a baby, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think that's what we were talking about earlier is when there's signs, like all of the signs point to successful pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like out of nowhere that gets completely ripped away from you. Like, I don't know if you had this experience, but I started decorating a whole ass nursery.
No, I didn't get that far.
I'm like, man, now at this point, I will not be doing that until after I'm out of a first trimester. And that's so sad.
It sucks because you, like you said again earlier, you get excited. You want to tell your family, you want to tell your friends, and you're so excited and you can't. You're like, you have to wait until your first trimester and hopefully everything is okay.
Yeah. And you never get those firsts back. I remember telling my therapist one time, I said, I think I'm grieving the loss of the first time I get to tell my mom that I'm pregnant. The first time I get to tell, my sister or something like that. Like, those are the things that I think I'm going to miss because now it's like we're all walking on eggshells.
Yeah. And when you've been through a lot of people have been through what I've been through. I'm not saying that nobody has been through this, but whenever I was pregnant and I finally had a successful pregnancy, they put me on progesterone.
Mm-hmm.
So I was having to take progesterone 3 times a day. In the morning, lay down for an hour. At lunch, lay down for an hour. And at night, lay down for an hour. Well, when you work in a family-owned business, it's hard to hide that because you can't be at work in the morning that early. And at lunchtime, I'm having to go home and lay down.
Yeah.
So when we got pregnant with Gabriella, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to hide this because I'm having to do all of this extra stuff that I didn't think I was going to have to do.
Yeah. And it does kind of feel like even though you have your partner, sometimes it feels like we're doing it alone.
It does. Yeah.
And maybe because it's our body, it's the things that we're experiencing. I don't want to take anything away from our partner side of it and like what they're going through and what they're experiencing, because they are experiencing grief in their own way. I just think as women,
I feel like women feel like they're going through it alone because of we're the ones bleeding.
Yeah.
We're the ones going to the doctor's office, no matter if they're there or not. You know, we're the ones getting blood work done. We're the ones seeing, you know, whenever you have a miscarriage, the baby, you know, come out, or we're feeling that, or whatever it is. We feel like we're going through that alone because it's our bodies going through it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. We talked a little bit about people saying the wrong things. And I don't think they mean to. Like, I give credit to them because
they don't know any different.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And especially for people who don't, I would say even the older generation, like they just didn't have this many problems. Or if they did, we weren't talking about it as much.
Yeah. And it's like, it'll be your own family sometimes too, though.
Yeah. That's so true. Yeah.
Like, that's like, are you going to have babies? Are you going to have more babies? Or before we had kids, you know, in a Hispanic family, you get pregnant or you get married or you start dating somebody and you pop out a kid.
Sure.
You know, so it's like, that's not how it always is.
Yeah.
And I had family members that I had to tell, like, shut up, don't ask me that.
Please don't ask me that. Yeah. That's what I'm having to learn right now, is because now I'm remarried and we're newlyweds. So that's always the question that comes up.
Of course.
It's like, do y'all want kids? Are y'all going to have kids? Are y'all going to try? And I hated getting the question, like, are y'all trying? I'm like, are you asking me if I have sex with my husband? Because I do. Like, this is such an odd question. Like, please don't ask me that. But I think some of the things that I hope people take away from this and like hear, they know, okay, maybe I should think before I speak. So is there anything that like stood out to you where you were like, I loved hearing this, I hated hearing this?
People might judge me for this, but people always would say, like, it's God's timing.
Yeah.
And it is. Don't get me wrong. But don't tell me that when I'm going through something like this, please. That was one thing that's like, yeah, it's okay for you because you're not going through this. But for me, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically, my body is not okay. I'm not okay.
Yeah.
And granted, like, yes, I 100% believe that, but I don't want to hear that at the time.
I had a friend who told me that someone in her loss straight up told her God needed your baby more than you did.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I would probably bitch slap someone. And like being a Christian, you know,
And you want to believe all of those
you
things.
want to, but it's in the midst of grief. You are mad. Like you're mad, you're questioning, and that is totally normal to do as a Christian. But I think it's also coming from a place where they don't know what else to say.
Yeah, they don't. And that's okay, but just keep your mouth shut.
Agreed. just be like, I'm sorry, do you need anything?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, do you want me to drop off cookies?
Yeah.
And I will agree every time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you've shared with me, not on the podcast, but just in personal conversations, that you did try, or you were thinking about trying IVF, right? Before Gabriella came into the picture. Yeah,
so backtrack to my last ectopic pregnancy. I just kind of felt like my body couldn't do it on its own. And we thought about IVF. We talked about it very, very little, but it wasn't anything that we had doctor's appointments scheduled to or anything like that.
Okay.
I was just kind of searching around, like, where the nearest IVF doctor is. Oklahoma, Lubbock, Dallas, which one is the best one? But then again, I wasn't in the right mindset to put my body through that yet. Because that's a whole nother animal.
Yes. Number one, do I have the money to do that? Because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
And it's not guaranteed. I know a lot of people who've done IVF and it hasn't been successful.
Correct.
And again, it's usually coming from people who
And then what if you don't want to do IVF? Then you don't need to. You don't have to. That's your choice. It's nobody else's choice for them to say, oh, well, you should do IVF, or you need to do this, or you need to that. No, it's my body.
Yeah.
And it's me and my husband's child. It's nobody else's child. So
And I know you said you did a lot of research. So was there ever a point when you were researching IVF specifically that you stopped and thought, am I willing to put my body through this?
No. So I was doing the research for IVF, and about 3 months to 4 months later, I found out I was pregnant again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is with Gabriella.
This is with Gabriella.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she stuck. She's I call her my miracle in motion because she is my life. So yes, I got pregnant with Gabriella, and everything was actually perfect from the beginning.
Okay.
So I don't know what happened. My body was just like, you're ready?
You know what? I thought one time, like, my body will just figure this out.
Yeah,
you know?
will one day. One day.
And you do hear about a lot of women who had multiple miscarriages and then they get pregnant. Or, you know, people who have had a lot of loss, they sign up for the adoption process and then find out they're pregnant after they adopted a kid.
Yeah. And you're like, good for you.
Yeah. And so I just think sometimes it's like our bodies are just confused. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
But with the same cycle that I went through with previous pregnancies, I actually switched doctors, like kind of in the mix of all this.
Okay.
And I go to a doctor now here in Amarillo, but she is amazing. I love her to death. And she helped me through the whole process. She's the one that put me on progesterone. She's the one that's like, you're going to come every 72 hours to give blood work, and we're going to do ultrasounds every 2 weeks. Like, she was very on top of it, and I just praise her for that because I was the annoying patient at one time.
Yeah.
That was like, I don't feel her moving. Can you get me in for an ultrasound?
Yeah. So you do feel like switching doctors even, I mean, let's be honest, we don't know if that's really what makes a difference, but it made you feel better.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. And the reason I switched doctors is because I was going to another doctor here in Amarillo, and after my second miscarriage at that doctor's office, the doctor walked in and basically told me that my husband and I just weren't compatible. We didn't do any testing. He literally walked in and said, maybe y'all just aren't compatible.
I can't. I've never heard this in my life.
Yeah. That happened to us.
Well, what did y'all do?
And I walked out and I was hysterically crying. And coming from a doctor, you think, he's right. You know, maybe he is right. Maybe we aren't compatible. And I immediately switched doctors after that. And I went to my new doctor. I told my new doctor all about it, my experience there. And she was like, no. She's like, that's not the issue. I can tell you right now. She said, but we'll figure out what's going on.
Okay, love that for you. Highly inappropriate.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're not a counselor.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was insane.
You have your daughter now, but I do know just from personal conversations that you have experienced loss since having Gabriella. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
What has that looked like for you?
So this is a little bit more difficult. Not that the other ones weren't difficult, but this was difficult because I want to bring a lifelong best friend in for my daughter. You know, like that's my goal. If I could have 5 kids, I would.
Yeah.
My husband's like, slow down. But if I could have 5, I would. But I just feel like it hurts me more because I feel like I want to give her the best friend that possibly is going to be her lifelong best friend. Yeah. And that kills me that my body isn't cooperating with me right now.
Yeah.
You know?
And you have a sister. So you
I have
know
a
what
sister.
That's like.
Yeah. Yeah. We're 7 years apart, but we're the best of friends.
For sure.
So
do you feel like after you had Gabriella, you do have a different, like you almost have a heightened sense of hope?
I do. And I thought that after having Gabriella, my pregnancy was so easy. Not easy, but I always had like the thought in the back of my head when you go to the bathroom and you sit down, is there going to be blood or, you know, whatever. But my pregnancy was so easy. My labor and delivery was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And me getting pregnant again, I just thought it's going to be the same.
Right.
And it wasn't, and it hasn't been. That's kind of where I'm at right now, is I'm kind of stuck in a hard place where, yes, I want another baby. It's just I don't know if I'm mentally ready for that.
Well, and you're grieving for 2
drainage.
people because you're grieving for your daughter and yourself.
Mm-hmm.
in multiple ways,
Yeah.
you know? So I can't imagine. I can't imagine what that's like. And then I feel like there's also those times where you would, this sounds horrible to say, but I don't know how to say it any other way, but you don't feel like you are allowed to be sad because you already had your daughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's hard too, because you want to be so happy because you have something that you've been longing for forever right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I'm thinking about my daughter at the end of the day, like
Yeah.
her wanting that best friend, or her just wanting somebody to play with at the house next year, whatever it is in the summer. Like that's what I'm longing for. And I think I just have to take a step back and just mentally say, are you capable of putting your body through this?
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's next. If I get pregnant again, I don't know if it's gonna stick or not.
Right.
So
I'm glad you're telling me this because all of our experiences are different. But I'm guilty of, like, my sister tried to get pregnant with her second for a while after my other nephew was already born. And because I've never had a successful pregnancy and had a baby, like, I'm in a different place than she is, but she's still struggling. She would, like, send in the group text that she's upset and she's sad and she just wishes this could happen for her. And for me, I'm like,
you have one.
at least you have one.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, now hearing from your perspective, that makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not any less valid. Like, her grief is not less than mine.
Correct.
It's just different.
Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've had friends too, that they have one kid and they're struggling to get pregnant with another one before Gabriella was even born. And I was like, well, you have one. Why are you so upset? So I didn't understand either until now I'm here.
Yeah.
And now we're struggling to have another one. And who knows if that time's going to come. And if you tell me that I'm going to wait 5 more years to have another one like I did Gabriella, I don't think that's going to happen.
Sure.
So,
I mean, you can only handle so much.
Correct. Yeah.
What has this done to how you see yourself as a mom, or maybe the mom that you wanted to be?
I've always wanted to be a mom, but I didn't know that it was going to be this difficult for me to become a mom. And now that I'm here, like, my little girl is my life, and I just feel like I want to give her the world, and she is our world at the end of the day, and nothing will come between that. And I just feel like I was meant to be a mom. And now that I'm doing it and actually getting to be a mom, it's just the biggest blessing I could ever think of.
If I ever get to that point, if I ever get to that point, I feel like it'll just be so rewarding.
It's rewarding. It's like so surreal because you're like, I have to take care of this child for the rest of my life, Do
you feel like, this is so stupid, but I feel like I would almost be overbearing.
I don't know if you know, but like, we don't show my daughter's face.
Yeah, I do know this just because we're friends on Instagram.
Yeah. So we don't show my daughter's face just because we thought about it for a very long time. And even like after her first birthday, I was like, oh, let me show her face, or do you want to show her face? And I don't want to.
Yeah.
And I think that she's mine and she's ours, and the people that love her will see her. And if you don't, then you don't see her.
Yeah.
And that's it. But also going back to for our labor and delivery, I went into labor about like midnight and I didn't want to go into the hospital. I thought I just had to poop. And John was like, we are going, like, your contractions are 3 minutes apart, like, we're going. And I was like, okay, we'll go. So we ended up going. I was already like a 6.
Oh
by
my
the time
gosh.
I got to the hospital. I was not okay. And so I was like, we're not going to call my parents. He called his mom because she lived in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And you know me, I'm very tight-knit with my family.
Yeah.
So that was kind of hard for me, but I was like, let them sleep. Like, I won't deliver till the morning, whatever. So my husband calls. I was already at like a 9 by like 7 a.m.
When you called your mom?
And he called my dad first because he was scared of my mom.
Oh my gosh.
So he called my dad and he was like, hey, we're about to have a baby. And my dad's like, what? Okay, well, let me get Mary. Like, we'll go up to the hospital, whatever. Then he calls my sister. Well, my sister works all the way out at Pantex.
Okay.
So my sister's hilarious. So John calls her and he's like, hey, your sister's in labor. Like she's 8 or 9. She's like going to start pushing soon. She's like, shut the fuck up. And he's like, no, like I'm serious. She's like, I'm fucking on my way. So I'm not even lying. They were there within the next like 15 minutes. I was in labor and I did so good. And I felt like if I saw my family in that moment, I would have lost all my shit.
Yeah.
As far as like being calm, cool, collected, I'm about to push a baby out, like, so my sister, they were all very respectful. They texted John. They were like, hey, can we come in and see Haleigh for a minute? And I was like, no. Like, I just felt like I would have lost everything because when I saw that text, I immediately felt like I was already in a panic without them even walking in the room.
For
yet.
sure. Yeah.
So we hold that very close to us. And I feel like going back to your question, being protective over her or whatever. Yes, we are. We didn't like for the first year, nobody was allowed but my parents or anybody to like kiss her on the mouth or anything like that. Like that was just us. And from the day she was born, we said that we weren't going to show her face.
Yeah.
And just with like all the evil people in the world now,
Yeah.
especially with the little girl, like you don't know what's gonna happen, or they can take your kids' photos, and it's scary to me, and that terrifies the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what I can keep private, I'm gonna keep private, and if you don't like it, then you don't have to be in our life.
Yeah.
Basically.
I totally get the social media thing. And again, like having these conversations just opens up my perspective a little bit because I used to be so put off by moms who would like put
an
sign,
emoji,
like, or no, not that, because like again, I get the social media thing, like,
yeah,
100%, but the signs like on their carrier, their stroller, like no touching.
Oh yeah,
I was like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
that's crazy. But now, like I'm telling you, if I ever actually get to have a baby, like there's no telling, I'll probably just be like, no.
Yeah, don't
because
come over.
I know what it's like to not have it, and then now that I have it, I want to protect it.
Yeah, and that's how I am until this day. Like John and I go back and forth, and we're like, "What if Gabriella grows up and she's like, well, did y'all not show me because I'm not cute?" And I'm like, no, like that's not the case.
Yeah.
But I'm protecting her at the end of the day.
It may take her till she's like in her mid-20s to understand.
But I've saw like recently so many like podcasts or like people like basically bashing mom and dads who don't show their kids on social media with like the emoji and everything. And I'm like, come on, guys. Like, if you want to show your kids, that's all you. But that's not who I am. And if you want to be around my kids, then you can come around, but you're not going to see her on the internet.
Yeah. So we're doing this episode like right before Mother's Day. What does Mother's Day feel like to you now that you have Gabriella, but you're also in the middle of experiencing infertility problems yet again?
It's a whirlwind. Because before I had Gabriella, it was really hard for me. I wouldn't come around my family on Mother's Day. I would like send my mom flowers so I wouldn't really have to be around her, or my sister, something to her house so I wouldn't have to be around her. I just really wanted to keep to myself. And the last Mother's Day before I had Gabriella, John actually took me and he brought me flowers. He made me breakfast. He did all the things for me. Just to appreciate like what I've been through. And I can't really explain what Mother's Day means to me now because it's just so much. It means the world to me that I have somebody to wake up to, somebody that looks up to me and calls me mommy, and somebody that I protect on a day-to-day basis. And I'm her protector. Yeah. So it means the world to me.
Yeah. So I've been seeing a lot of Mother's Day giveaways, everybody does that. And they're like, tag a mom that means something to you or whatever. And I'm like, I want to be entered into these giveaways. Like, I want to be given the chance to have a $250 shopping spree. Like, I deserve that too, But yeah, Mother's Day is so hard. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, if I would have successfully carried both of my pregnancies, I would have 2 children or I would have one at least. And even before you have a baby, it's like people forget about you, kind of. And I love that you have John. And it's so funny because my husband's name is Jonathan, but I call him John too. So I'm like, my John. I love that John did that for you and that he recognizes that this day is important to you and it's very emotional because
it would be like the week leading up to Mother's Day. Like if I wouldn't have had Gabriella, I probably couldn't have sat here in a room with you and like spoke about it, just because it was like a week leading up to Mother's Day. I'm like, all my friends are posting my mom, you know, my mom's a mom, my sister's a mom, my cousin's a mom, all of these things. And it's just like, why am I not a mom? You know, like we've tried for so long, and I guarantee you feel the same way.
Yeah.
So like it's hard. It's hard for people. And I want people to normalize that if you're not a mom and you're trying to become a mom, you're not alone.
I think the people in your life should be supporting you in that way. Like, it is important for your partner, your friends, your family to recognize, hey, Mother's Day is coming up, and I also know that Mother's Day isn't the best for everyone. And that's not even just for infertility, right? It's like the first year you're celebrating Mother's Day and your mom has passed away, or you don't have a good relationship with your mom. Like, there's so many different groups of people that I think it means something completely different. For anyone listening, if you know someone in any of those camps, like it's important to check on them or just to send them a sweet text. Send them, like when my husband, the first year we were dating, got me this like beautiful orchid. And I remember him coming over to my apartment and I opened the door and he has this orchid and like, oh, I'm going to cry now, but he has this orchid and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Like, what is this for? And he goes, well, it's Mother's Day. Like Mother's Day is coming up. And I was just like, like nobody's done that for me. Like nobody has thought for a second that I deserve flowers on that day too, or I deserve to be taken out for breakfast or brunch or whatever.
Just because you don't have like a physical child.
Yeah.
You know, like it sucks to say, but that's like normal, and it's not. They want to make it normal that just because you're not a mom or you've had miscarriage, that's still a loss.
Yeah.
You still lost a baby. You still lost 2 babies. Like you are still a mom.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like you still are a mom.
Yeah. It's such an odd holiday.
It's weird.
Like I want to love on my mom and my sister because she's a mom, but I'm just like, it's just also, it's our day. And I think that's something that I wanted us to be able to like tell women who are listening who've been through this experience. Like Mother's Day is your day too.
Yeah.
And it's okay. I love that you actually took time for yourself. Like I know that's hard, especially you being so close with your family. It's hard not to be present and not to show up for your mom or your sister on Mother's Day.
Well, not only
but
that,
you have
but
to
you
show
just
up for
feel
yourself.
like so guilty too.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's my mom. Like I need to go spend the day with her, but I'm mentally, I couldn't.
Right.
Like I couldn't. I couldn't get out of bed. I didn't want my phone ringing. I just was mentally not okay.
Yeah.
To do any of that.
No, I completely agree. But I love that you took care of yourself in those moments too. I'm sure your mom and your sister completely understand that now.
Yes, they do.
So, well, do you have any other words of advice for women who might be feeling some type of way now that Mother's Day is coming up?
I have this. I just wanted to say I'm grateful to be here today and to share part of my journey that wasn't always easy to talk about. My experience was trying to conceive came with a lot of ups and downs, emotionally, physically, and mentally. There were moments of hope, frustration, and a lot of uncertainty. One thing I've learned through it all is how important it is to have a support and to know you're not alone. Infertility can feel isolating, but there are so many people quietly going through the similar struggle. I want to be open about my experience in hopes it helps someone feels seen, understood, and maybe a little less alone. Everyone's journey looks different. There's no right way to go through it, but sharing our story can make a big difference.
I love that. Haley's going to be the next co-host of the podcast. No, I love that so much. I really do think it's helpful to talk to somebody who's been through something similar. And again,
Yes.
like everybody's experience is different, but I think you get where I'm coming from.
Of course.
More than a lot of other people. More than a lot of my close friends, you know.
And I feel like you said, like we're here today because it's not talked about enough, especially in Amarillo. It's really not. And that's one thing that I struggled with because I just felt like I was alone and I didn't have anybody but my husband. And at the end of the day, like you get tired of your husband and you want to talk to somebody else other than your husband. So
exactly. And we're both from small towns. So I don't know.
Yes.
That's the other dynamic. A whole other podcast episode, but that's the other dynamic that we're having to deal with is being from a small town. Everybody gets married right out of college or high school. Everybody has 3 kids by the time they're 30 and you're just like,
yeah,
I'm behind.
Yeah.
And now I'm even further behind.
Well, and everybody in Amarillo too knows everyone.
Yeah.
So it's like
sometimes it's a good and a bad thing. Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing that. I love that you put so much thought into that.
Yes.
And for sharing. Like, this is a huge thing to say out loud, especially to people who are going to hear it from all over the world.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, so I always wrap up the podcast with 2 questions for everybody. Okay, so the first one is, what is one thing that most people may not know about you?
You put me on the spot with this one. I love to have a good night out every once in a while.
See, but I have known you for almost a year.
Yeah.
Actually,
and you didn't know that.
And I didn't know that until recently.
Yeah.
When we went to lunch and I'm like, oh,
she's a good time.
Yeah. You're very poised and professional.
Yeah, I try to be. My husband gets on to me because he says that sometimes I could be a little off the edge.
Okay.
But I have to.
No, I respect it.
Yeah.
The first time we met in person, I thought you were delightful.
Yeah.
Very professional, but you were not like scary.
Yeah.
No, there's been other days where I'm like, I think Haleigh hates me.
I think everyone can say that, but it's just my RBF. Yeah. But I'm really nice.
Yeah, you're great.
I'm a vibe.
Yes, I agree. A whole ass vibe. Okay, the next question is, who are 3 women who inspire you?
Okay. Number 1 is my mother. She is an amazing mom, an amazing grandma. Mimi is what we call her. And an amazing wife. That's my number 1. Number 2 is my sister. She is so strong. My sister has been through so much. And she is the best mom to my nieces. And then number 3 is my mother-in-law. So me and my mother-in-law are super, super close. She is a great nanny to my baby girl, even though she lives so far. We wish she lived closer. And she's a great mom to her kids. So I admire her. She's 67. If I get this wrong, don't kill me. She's 67 and she still works. She gets up in the morning at like 4 a.m. and works for Boar's Head in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she's like a manager for Boar's Head and she still gets up every morning and works her ass off. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that list. Number 1, your mom is hot.
She is. Don't tell her that, though.
As somebody who grew up with the hot mom in high school, I get it. I'm like, God, please don't tell her. Don't tell her to her face.
I know sometimes we'll go out with our friends and stuff and she'll wear some stuff and I'm like, you look hotter than me and my sister. Like, tone it down a little bit, Mary.
Chill. And then 2, I don't know your sister, but I know you guys are super close and I know you and somewhat kind of feel like I know your mom, sort of.
So just to like I'm on a
same.
spectrum and then my sister's like 10,000. So she's crazy and she has no filter. So she would never be allowed on this podcast.
We might need her, actually, when I want to spice things up a little bit. I'll reach out.
Yeah.
And then I love that you're so close with your mother-in-law. I am very close with my new mother-in-law. Like, she is the best. She's so loving. She's caring. The woman that I hope to be whenever I'm even like,
aren't they amazing?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I literally tell everybody that like either doesn't talk to their mother-in-law or doesn't have a good relationship with their mother-in-law. Like, I'm so sorry.
It's really
or people
hard.
That don't even want to like be close with their mother-in-laws. It's like, why? Like,
well, sometimes it's the mother-in-law.
Yeah, but like sometimes it's the daughter-in-law.
No, agreed. Agreed. It's definitely everyone has their thing. So,
Yeah.
and I agree. But I love that list. You definitely have a lot of really influential women in your life. But I also hope you realize like you're very influential. Like
Thank you.
you're gonna have such an impact on so many people who heard you tell your story.
Thank you. And I am so glad to be here today with you and just share everything.
Yeah. I'm glad we're friends now.
Yeah.
We're going to have an unhinged moment at some point and be like, I'm going to have an entire glass of wine or a bottle of wine and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Hey, y'all hang out with us this weekend. You'll see me all.
John will be like, you're not allowed to hang out with her ever again. So.
No, it would be fun.
Okay, so if people want to follow along with you and your life or just connect with you, maybe you said something today that really sparked something for someone and they want to reach out and connect with you. What is the best way to do that?
So I have a Facebook. It's Haleigh Baiada. My first name is spelled Haleigh, last name Baiada, Baiada. And I also have an Instagram that you can follow me on at Haleigh Baiada 03.
I can't wait to see like how you just flourish as a mother and kind of where you go from here. But I'm just happy that we got to have this conversation today.
So. Yes, thank you so much for allowing me to open up and be vulnerable in this state of life right now.
I just want to start by saying thank you to Haleigh for trusting me with this, for showing up and just being willing to say things out loud that so many women are feeling but maybe can't find the words for yet. This conversation meant more to me than you know. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And to everyone who listened today, I really hope that something in this episode made you feel a little less alone. Whether you're in the thick of this journey right now, you've been through it before, or you're quietly dreading Mother's Day, I see you. This community sees you, and your story, wherever it is right now, is not over. Mother's Day can be a lot of things. It can be joy and grief living in the same weekend, sometimes in the same hour. And if that's where you are, I just want you to know that it's okay. You don't have to perform happiness if you don't feel it. You are allowed to take care of yourself, to stay home, to cry, or to ask somebody to just simply show up for you. That being said, this could be a heavy weekend for some, and I am right there with you. I'll be thinking of all of you and sending many, many hugs. But until next time, stay strong, stay connected, and keep growing.